In 1969, when Led Zeppelin released their debut album, the band made one thing very clear: they were deeply rooted in the blues. Among the tracks on that first record was a slow, powerful blues song called You Shook Me. While Led Zeppelin would soon become famous for thunderous rock epics and mystical lyrics, this track showed where their musical heart truly came from. But the story behind You Shook Me goes back long before Led Zeppelin ever existed. The song was originally written by legendary blues musician Willie Dixon and first recorded by blues guitarist Muddy Waters in 1962. Like many classic blues songs, its lyrics told a simple but emotional story about love, heartbreak, and betrayal. For years, the song lived within the blues world, respected but relatively unknown to rock audiences. That changed when Led Zeppelin decided to record their own version. Jimmy Page had always been passionate about American blues music. As a guitarist, he studied the work of artists like Muddy Waters and other Chicago blues legends. When forming Led Zeppelin in 1968, Page wanted the band's debut album to reflect those influences. You Shook Me became the perfect vehicle. Unlike many blues covers at the time, Led Zeppelin didn't just replicate the original arrangement. Instead, they expanded it into something larger and more dramatic. The track begins with slow, heavy piano chords from John Paul Jones. Almost immediately, the mood feels darker and more intense than traditional blues recordings. Then comes Robert Plant's voice. Plant delivers the lyrics with a raw emotional power that feels both respectful to the blues tradition and unmistakably modern. His vocals rise and fall in dramatic waves, turning a simple blues lament into something theatrical. But perhaps the most fascinating moment in the song comes during the instrumental sections. Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones engage in a call-and-response duel between electric guitar and organ. The two instruments seem to challenge each other, each phrase becoming more intense than the last. Meanwhile, drummer John Bonham holds the entire performance together with a slow but thunderous groove. His playing is restrained compared to Zeppelin's later work, but every drum hit carries enormous weight. The recording also contains an unusual studio effect. At one point in the track, Robert Plant's vocals appear to echo the guitar lines almost perfectly. This wasn't coincidence. It was carefully arranged so that the vocal phrases mirrored Jimmy Page's guitar notes, creating an eerie musical conversation between voice and instrument. But there was also a bit of controversy surrounding the song. When Led Zeppelin's debut album was released, some listeners noticed that another British blues rock group had recorded a version of You Shook Me around the same time. That band was the Jeff Beck Group, led by guitarist Jeff Beck. Because the two recordings appeared so close together, some critics speculated that one band may have influenced the other. Jimmy Page later insisted that Led Zeppelin's arrangement was developed independently. Regardless of the debate, Led Zeppelin's version quickly became one of the most powerful blues performances on their debut album. More importantly, it demonstrated something essential about the band. Before the stadium anthems, before the mythology, before the legends, Led Zeppelin were simply four musicians deeply inspired by the blues. And in You Shook Me, that influence can still be heard loud and clear.